Turning to our top story this morning, and a shaken Sydney family has been reunited following a nightmare holiday in Fiji. Tanya Sando and her daughter Georgia arrived back home overnight after being caught up in a suspected alcohol poisoning incident at their five-star resort. The pair were among 7 people who fell ill, including 2 other Aussies who are still in hospital. Now, the incident has raised serious concerns for tourists, but the Fijian government is reassuring travellers it is an isolated incident. And for more on this, we are joined live by Fiji Tourism CEO Brent Hill in Fiji. Good morning to you. Let's just start off with those victims there. Do you have any more details on their conditions?
Yeah, well, the good news this morning is that we have actually been informed that 2 more of the tourists have actually been discharged and have been able to return home to their families, which is great news. So that leaves us with only 2 people that are left here in Fiji in hospital, and their condition is listed as stable, and they're certainly responding well to treatment. So, that's certainly pleasing news for everybody, for their families, and certainly for us in Fiji.
So those still remaining in hospital, they are among the Australians?
Yes, we know that at least one of those still here is an Australian, yes.
Talk to us about now the Fijian tourism sector. How nervous is this? Of course, this has happened at a 5-star resort here. People go to these resorts, they expect top quality service. They wouldn't expect something like this, particularly over a hotel bar. How nervous is the sector now, considering the number of Australians that actually go to Fiji every year?
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's a real peak time for tourism, coming through Christmas and into the new year. We obviously saw those distressing events in Laos, and we actually put in place a lot of regulations and made sure that everybody was on top of their game after that. So it was obviously very distressing to see this. At this stage, though, we still don't want to speculate as to exactly what occurred. We're not sure until those toxicology reports actually come through. Just what actually caused these poor tourists to fall ill. They certainly have gone through CCTV footage. I've spoken to the barman who's been there for 16 years at a beautiful luxury resort. So this is not something that we've ever experienced before, and we're certainly trying to get to the bottom of it.
So are you thinking then it's an isolated incident, or could this be wider spread, or where does this sort of stand? Because you've said that you put regulations in place.
No, definitely, that's right. It's a very isolated incident. We've never had something like this, occur before, and certainly, of course, there's been lots of different suggestions about, what could have been, in the drinks or consumed by the tourists. A lot of those things that have been talked about, you can't actually acquire here in Fiji. So we are trying to work it out as quickly as possible and get to the bottom of it. But as I said, we have around 1 million tourists that come to Fiji annually. And this was a very isolated incident. Even in the hotel itself, there was only these 7 that were affected, which is quite mystifying. So we certainly, want to reassure people that are planning to come over for Christmas that, Fiji prides itself on safety and service, and we feel that it's still a very safe place to come.
Well, you pointed to those numbers there. 1 million Aussies every year go to Fiji. We've spoken to a number of those tourists already in the past 24 hours at airports. They are understandably very nervous right now to go to Fiji. What message do you have for those families that are planning to go there?
Yeah, and of course we understand that nervousness, but we really want to reassure people that, as we said, Fiji is a place that tourism is, literally almost half our economy. It's something we do really well and pride ourselves on. We've never seen this before, so we really want to say to tourists, look, it's such an isolated incident. We don't know the detail yet. It could actually be any number of different things that have actually caused these tourists to fall ill. So, we urge people to just take the usual precautions, know what's in front of you, what you're consuming, and take those usual precautions. But certainly, don't put off your trip to Fiji. We still want to welcome, all those Australians here to our beautiful islands.
All right. Well, thanks very much for that then. Brent Hill there, Fiji Tourism CEO. Thanks for your time.